All right, let's see. Doing a college football analysis today, and I see there's a games table here. That's exactly what I want. I just want to see a list of college football games. I'm sure I can get it here. College football database. Looks like it's called dbo.games. Perfect. This will get me exactly what I need. Home school ID, away school ID. I'm not seeing any school names here. What is this? This is the games table. I'm not seeing any schools. How am I supposed to know what teams played each other? This doesn't make any sense. Oh man, I need to talk to the IT team. This is so frustrating. Oh, hey Gary, can you come over here?
Hey, Brian. Nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you too.
What's up, man?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
What you
Thanks
got
for
going
helping
on?
me.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm trying to do a college football analysis, but I have to be honest with you. This table in the college football database, it's not giving me what I need.
Yeah. So what you looking for, actually?
Well, I'm looking to see, I at least want to see the two teams that play each other.
Well, yeah, that's all in the games table.
Yeah, I'm looking at the games
Yeah,
table.
it's right there.
Wait, I don't see any school names here.
Oh, you want the school names?
Yeah, the school name.
Okay, well, you got to go to the schools table to get the school names.
The schools table? Why do I have to go to that table?
Because the school table has got the school names and the school IDs.
Okay, but why isn't it in the games table?
Because it could get very, very large and it could take you a long time to find everything that you want. So we've optimized the table structure for you into pretty much a third normal form repository.
Did you just third normal form?
Yeah. It's the key, the whole key, and nothing but the key. So help me God. That's the guy who created third normal form.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, and really what it's all meant about is to help optimize the storage of the data in the database for you.
Okay.
Make it easy for you to find what you need.
Yeah, well, I'm just not finding this easy. I mean, I guess I could join the tables, but to be honest, I'm not as comfortable with joins, and it just seems like an extra step.
Well, you're not the only one that we're trying to solve problems for with this data, which is why we organize it the way we do.
Oh.
There's your issues, then there's other people's issues as well. So we've got to break this stuff out in many different places. So let's try and let's do a join on the school IDs for you there. And we've actually made it a little bit easier for you in this particular table. It's not completely third normal form.
Okay.
Because we have the home schools and the away school data all in the one table.
Okay.
So we're just let's go ahead and write the join to bring this stuff together, and now you'll see the schools.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess we could do that.
Yeah.
Select star from college football database .dbo, and well, at least you've named them the way I would expect. So you've got a school table here.
Yeah.
So our school table. Okay, there's the name.
Yeah, so you see the
Okay.
school IDs?
Yeah.
So you got a home school ID in your games table, and you have an away school ID in your games table. So that's where you're going to find the names.
Okay.
Because schools are used not only for games,
yeah.
they're used to look at conference affiliations, to match up with coaches, to do all this other stuff. So schools are used all over the place. And if I put the school name in every one of those,
Yeah.
I'm wasting so much space.
Well, okay, I could see that. I guess that's someone's got to think about the space.
Exactly, because
All right.
hey, space ain't cheap.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too often. I just think about how do I get this analysis done. Well, okay, I guess I'll do an inner join to the school table, and I guess I'm gonna have to join to it twice here.
You are, because you have the home schools and the away schools.
Wow, that's a lot of joining.
It's kind of like that funny joke, hey, I'm going to read you the college football scores for last night, 34-16, 25-9. You're like, well, who played? Well, I got to go figure that out. I was just reading you the scores.
That is a good joke. If you're nothing else, Gary, you're funny. I'll give you
Ah,
that.
uh, thanks a lot. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And now let's
Okay.
get the away school
Okay. Away
or
school.
AS. Yeah, well, you can't use as because that would be a key
So
word. Yeah.
that's right. That's tricky. This is why I don't like joining things, Gary. Don't have to worry about this if all the fields are there.
I understand. You analysts like to see everything in a big spreadsheet.
Well, yes, yes, a lot of times we do. At least a big data table, anyway.
Yep, I get that.
All right,
Away
some
school name is away school,
away school. All right, let's see if this gets us what we need.
and away we go. There's the home school and the away school. Oh, did you get
Oh,
that?
I think I messed something up. Away. I
Yeah,
need to join on away here.
yeah,
That's why we have to check the results, right? Do
exactly.
some sanity checks.
There you go. So
Oh,
in this case, Abilene Christian played Angelo State in
2018,
2018 and
2020.
2020.
Wow. Well, at least I've got my school names there, and then
Yeah, and
I
you
should
got the
have got my
points,
points.
and so you know the points there
That's
as
all I
well.
need. So, okay. I had to do two extra joins, Gary. I don't know. Is it possible? I mean, I'm gonna have to run this basically every time I use the games table. I'm gonna
There
be bringing
is.
that in.
Now, if you're doing this all the time,
Yeah.
then what I can do is I can create what's called a view for
Oh,
you,
okay.
and it looks just like a table that looks just like this.
Wow,
So that
that
all you have
sounds
to do is do select star from the view, and you're going. But I don't want to do this if this is just a one-off. I
okay.
want to do it if you're actually going to be using this over and over and over again.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. This is Brian Amrine with Value Driven Analytics. I'm here today with my friend Gary Spakes from Ridge Trail Ventures. And what you just witnessed is a very common conversation when it comes to analytics and IT.
I know, Brian. Thanks for having me on. Great to be back with you again. And this is something that happens in organizations all the time. The dichotomy between how data is stored versus how data is used in
Yes.
organizations. You guys just experienced that, a little taste of it in what we have here. In this college football example, I'm sure you've seen Brian's work on college football scores and things like that in the past. But how that data is typically stored in a database is really different than what you would see in what analysts really want in those big spreadsheets.
Oh, yeah, you could see my frustration. I just wanted the data that I use, especially on a regular basis, the team names in this case, I wanted it readily available in that database, in that specific data table, but it wasn't. And so I was frustrated. I didn't know where to go. And so we needed to have a conversation about how I was using the data.
Yeah, that's why people, analysts will always yell as loud as they can. I can't find any information in the database, and the IT database administrators yell back as loud as they can. The data's all there. You know, they're both right in those cases. The data's all there, but again, it's just not organized in a fashion conducive for analytics. So this is where all of the work that you've been putting in on the SQL side and the SQL training really starts to pay off when we start looking at these data repositories and these star schemas or these third normal form pieces that I'd kind of talked a little bit about, to try and find where those subject matter area tables are, to find the right data so that you can bring it together, so that again you can then move it downstream to start solving the problems.
That's right. As you mentioned, it's very important to know SQL for times like these. So you don't have to wait on the DBA to join the data in for you, right? You are able to, as soon as I knew what table to go to, I was able to join that in. So being able to join tables together, specifically in SQL, very important when your data is set up in this third normal form or star schema, where you might not have all the information in one table. In order to save space, as Gary mentioned, just means you're going to have to do some joins.
Yeah, and uh, adding on to that, it's so important for you as the analyst to talk to me as the DBA, because I can help with creating views to make it so that you don't have to do all those joins all the time.
Yep.
But if I don't know how you're using the data,
Mm.
then I can't help you anymore. I can just be in my own little world working on optimizing the data repositories as opposed to truly trying to help the organization solve business problems.
Yeah, we need to be talking regularly. And in fact, I've seen some IT people who will proactively reach out to analysts and they'll want to know what are the most common fields that you're going to be accessing so they can build indexes on those and build tables that include those fields that you're readily accessing. Maybe in this case, Gary, if we had a conversation and we landed in a spot where we said, yes, when I go to the games table, I am always going to want to see the home team and the away team, the specific name of the teams. Where might we go from there?
Well, what we're going to do in that case, you have the query already written.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this is a repeatable thing that you're going to do over and over again.
Right.
You're going to pass that to me as the DBA, and I'm going to end up creating a view on that. So in this particular example, we're just going to above the select statement,
Yeah.
do a create view.
Okay. Create view.
And we're going to give it a name. Let's call it games view.
Yes. Games underscore view. Okay.
Create view, games view as.
Oh, okay. Gotta get them in the right order.
Yeah.
There we go.
And when you run this, you're going to see nothing. Just like
nothing.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it said it completed successfully.
Well, that's a
that
good
seems
thing.
Good.
Yeah. So now let's do a select star from games view.
Oh, okay. You can select from this.
Yes.
This thing that we just did, this view we just created, you can select from it. Okay.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen is when you run select star from games view, what happened there?
Oh, I guess I need a from statement.
Yeah, that would
So
probably help.
it's just like pulling from a table.
Yeah.
It's just a view instead.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So whenever you run that, it's actually going to run that SQL behind the scenes for you.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
why wouldn't we just create a table that has all this data in it?
well, we have away schools, we have home schools.
Yeah.
We might want to just have a schools table that's going to tie to seasons, that's going to tie to conferences, it's going to tie to coaches,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be using, if I always put the names in this particular table, I'm going to be
Right.
using up so much space.
Oh.
And there is a lot of database theory behind the scenes in optimal space usage versus searchability.
Uh-huh.
The most expensive part of a computer operation is reading and writing data off of disk.
Okay. Yep.
So if the more characters I put in a particular table, the more I'm having to read all the time.
Yeah.
Where, if I'm reading that lookup table once and I'm
Yeah.
applying that all over the place instead of reading all of that data all the time. I mean, this particular example, you're seeing Abilene Christian all over the place.
Right.
Now, if I'm storing
It's repeated.
that, if I'm storing that, I'm taking up a lot of space. So I really only want to store it once.
Right. And it might be slower to pull back if it has way more data than I need.
Yeah.
Okay. So I appreciate that as an analyst. Now, what would be the con of just creating a table like I guess that's where it takes up more space, right? So the view, does the view actually take up any space?
The view takes up very little space. The space it takes up is what you see in the query.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
That's only, a handful of characters here.
That's
Wow.
it.
Okay, so you're
That's
not
it.
recreating the whole data table
Right.
again.
Right. And now somebody else can use this particular view as
Oh,
well.
right. Yeah,
so it's
my
not
team
only
members would wanna use
exactly.
this. Yeah.
Instead of you passing the SQL around, it's already built in and it's already
Wow.
looked at and verified and validated.
Oh, wow.
So you're not getting anything. And you can actually do crazy things with the views as well. Like, let's say we wanted to find out the games for, we are in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So let's say we wanted to find the games for NC State in 2022.
Okay.
You can do that against a view as well.
Okay.
You can do other SQL against that view as well. So
Oh, I see. Like I can write a where statement against it.
exactly.
Anything I could do with a table.
Yep, where
Oh, that's
homeschool
great.
is NC State,
Okay.
and season number is 2022.
Season number equals 2022. Okay, yeah, it's just
So
we're treating it as a
all the
table,
home games for
basically.
NC State are right there for 2022.
Yeah, there they are. Wow. It's just like we were writing a
against the
query against the
table.
table.
Exactly.
View. Wow.
Exactly.
And I like, that you brought up a really important point that we're not passing SQL around. Hey, I've got a SQL, because when you write a complicated query like this, where you're joining to school multiple times, maybe even other things, if you wanted to find out the conference, it's going to get pretty long. And before you know it, your other analysts on the team are going to want to do the same thing. And you just, oh yeah, I've got a query for that.
And you're going to have customized queries all over the place, as opposed to the generic query to get you what you want, so that now you can filter specifically for your choices.
Oh boy, that's awesome. It makes me think, sometimes you have a complete overhaul of tables behind the scenes. One of the neat things about, as I'm thinking about a view here, is that if you completely overhauled the table where the view code, that SQL that was originally written to pull back this data no longer works because the underlying table has changed. If I've passed that SQL around to different people, everyone's going to need to update their SQL to accommodate that new table,
As opposed to just
just updating
using
one
the view.
view.
Exactly.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah, and you talked about adding stuff to it. Let's take a look at the database diagram for this,
Okay,
because
yeah,
you're only playing with two tables that we have right now. You're playing with the games table, and you're playing with the schools. But we also have this school season table over here as well, where the school belongs to a conference, and there's coaches that belong to those schools during those seasons as well. So you could actually create the view to bring in the home conference and the away conference, the home coach
oh
and the
yeah,
away coach. You could bring all of that data in. You can see in the school season, what was their preseason AP rank? What was their postseason AP
yeah,
rank? You can look at what was their recruiting classes rank? What did that look
yep,
like
yep,
as well? And there are some other college football metrics that are in there around your offense and your defense efficiencies,
yep.
as well as just what you're getting today. So there's
That's
other
awesome.
fields that you can use for whatever your analysis is.
Wow. I mean, that's definitely going to be needed if I build out a big data science model and I want to use as many factors as possible to maybe make a prediction of who wins the game. I'm going to need all that data in one data set. And so, Gary, having a database diagram like this to show me all the tables and fields and how they join together, if I saw this from the get go, I may have never even gotten to a point where I needed to ask you about how to get the school name. I'd see that there's a school table in the diagram. I'd see this. Such a helpful resource to have a database diagram.
Yeah, that's my bad for not being proactive and reaching out to you and walking you through this is what's all in the database for you, giving you a good data dictionary, giving you an explanation of what all these fields are and mean, and some general knowledge on how to get from one place to the other. Because getting from coaches to games, I mean, look at that. You start over down
Oh
here at
boy, yeah.
coaches, and you go, oh, what's the school ID and the season number? Oh, there's the school ID and the season number. Now I can then go over to the
Oh
games
yeah.
and figure that out. Now, we talked about third normal form.
Yep.
This really isn't completely third normal form.
Okay.
If we were going to make it third normal form in that games table, I'd pull out the home schools and the away schools,
Okay.
because I'm repeating data.
Huh.
I'm repeating a school ID and I'm repeating a score in
Oh.
every one of those tables.
Okay.
So we
Huh.
would create a games ID, and we'd have another table that said games participants or something like that. And you'd have
Oh.
a game ID, a school ID, whether it was the home team or the away team, and their score.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
be huge, because look at the query that you just wrote. You
Yeah.
only found NC State's home games.
Right. Right. Right.
Now, if
Yeah.
you wanted to see, I mean, if you wanted to have their whole season,
Yeah.
now you're going to have to do, an and with the away school is NC State and season number.
Oh boy. Yeah. Away school. I'll put that NC State, and I'll come back and put either brackets or double quotes around
Is it an
this.
and or is it an or?
Oh, it's an
That's going to
or.
be an or, isn't it?
And you always have to be careful
Yeah.
about this when you have an or in your where statement. You
Yeah.
need to put parentheses around
Right.
that.
So see, we could just gone where school is NC State and then linked backwards. So
Yeah.
there's different ways that we can do things to help optimize the data, because maybe you just want to see what was their total offensive scores. You got to do it. You got to always do the or in here. So
Well, wait a minute. Now I'm still, yeah, at a disadvantage because sometimes the homeschool points represents NC State, sometimes it represents the other team.
yep,
So it's becoming a bigger and bigger challenge to work with this form here. I think the setup you mentioned would make that a lot easier.
it certainly can.
Yeah.
Most people want to see it like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why we do it this way.
Very interesting. Well, I
And that's
certainly learned a
where
lot.
that's with IT working with business to figure out the best way. The data needs to be organized so that you can solve the most of your business problems.
Absolutely. If we're working in silos, I mean, it's clear to me now than ever that if we're working in silos, things might be set up in an optimal way for IT, maybe not in an optimal way for analyst. And we mentioned in a previous video the term shadow IT. That's probably where shadow IT comes up.
Exactly. And really, you're talking about that series that we were running on the analytics lifecycle.
Yes.
This really fits into that very first video around data preparation. How are you preparing your data so that you can then start to explore it
Yes.
to do your analyst work, your analytics work? How are you actually preparing that data and organizing it so that you can then explore and then move on? You had mentioned, there's other things that you might like to use in here.
Right.
We could bring in this particular view, and
Yeah.
we can actually join a view to tables as well.
No way.
So
Okay.
so we could take this view and we could join it to the coaches table
Okay.
and bring in the coaches' names for
Okay.
the away team and the home team, and we could bring in
wow.
the coaches' records
Okay.
as well. We could do that.
Yeah, why not?
How are we going to find that?
Okay, I'm going back to the diagram for sure. We already linked to the school table.
So you already have the school ID.
Now probably need to go to the school season table, maybe?
No, I think you can skip that completely, because
Okay.
if you look down here at coaches, you're really only going to need the school ID and the season number.
Okay, so which we already have.
We already have those. So
Okay.
you don't have to follow map and go step by step by step.
Okay.
If you have the stuff that you need, you can jump to those particular areas. So in this
great.
case, we're going to interjoin into the coaches table,
Coaches table. Okay.
and we're going to use school ID
On school. Oh, I've got to choose a one
Let's
here.
do the homeschool first.
School ID equals C dot. It's just school ID. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
probably season as well.
yeah.
Okay. Equals C dot season number as well.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right. Now, if you want the away, you're going to put a parenthesis around that G homeschool ID, and you're going to use the same or so that we can get the away school ID.
Okay.
Oh no, actually, no, we're good. We're good. We're good just like that.
Okay.
And then you're going to want to interjoin on coaches again.
Okay. Join on coaches again.
And then we're gonna let's take that first C where it says coaches C, and let's do HC for home coach.
Yeah. Good call.
And then on the next line, we're going to do an AC for away coach.
Okay. Okay, I see. So maybe we bring in everything, and then we'll bring in the
Coach,
HC.
what is it? The coach's last name? Is that it? Last name. It's last name.
Last name. Yeah.
As home coach.
Okay.
And we'll do the AC last name as away coach.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you run that, you should be able to see the coaches.
Ambiguous name on season. Oh, update here because it's in three different tables in this case.
G dot. There we go.
That will help.
And now you see.
How about that? Okay.
That's really interesting because we had NC State and Louisville. What are we missing there?
Oh,
that needs
the
to
way.
be away.
And that's, again, the validation check, right?
That's right.
All right, we did a little troubleshooting here. We decided to change the join to a left join. There are, and this is something to be careful about, there are, in this case, a few cases where we didn't have coach information for the 2022 season for Louisville or Charleston Southern, two
Yeah,
teams
we've
that
got to
NC
go
State
back and
played.
figure that one out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you can see that we can add coaches into this as well. We can
Yeah.
even do conferences.
Oh,
Because
boy.
if you go back to the data diagram
Yeah.
that we have here, and this is so important for you to have one of these so that you can
Yes.
understand where stuff is. You can go all the way back to conferences and see if the division is an FBS or an FCS.
Sure.
And now you're able to do analysis not only at the school level, but you can do analysis at the conference level and analysis at the coaching level.
Wow.
So think about the coaching carousel that goes along. You can actually look
Yeah.
and write queries to figure out, oh, this coach went from this conference to that conference.
Yeah.
Or this coach went from this division to that division. How well did they perform in their move? How strong was the conferences that they left compared to the conferences that they are going to? How successful are they from a historical standpoint?
Wow.
How are other coaches that move from one to another? How long does it take them to become successful so that I can set expectations correctly if I'm doing a coaching hire?
Oh, wow. Are you sure you don't want to be an analyst, Gary? You sound like you've thought about this for a little bit.
Well, IT people really love to look at data and understand data
Yeah.
as well as opposed to just administering it.
Right.
So there are some interesting things that you could then turn around and look at. But no, I'm not interested in being an analyst.
Okay. Well, I like that the IT person thinks like an analyst. That in itself can help them design things maybe from the get-go in a more intuitive way. So there's less back and forth. And likewise, an analyst, there's probably some value to thinking like an IT person as well.
I tell you, you've probably forgotten more about linear regression, gradient boost, ensemble models with neural networks, kurtosis, rock curves, lift curves, associative analysis than I will ever know. So thank you, no. You can have that.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun, Gary. Thanks for walking me through the IT side of things.
Yeah, this has been a fun little project to look at when we're starting to think about just how we walk through truly doing data modeling and data exploration and trying to organize data so that it is more conducive for analytics as opposed to just being set up for optimal space usage. Trying to have these conversations from an organizational standpoint is very, very key for time to insight.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just trying to make decisions on your gut as opposed to really becoming a data-driven organization.
And that's why the IT team does what they do, especially the team that's focused on the database administration, and certainly why the analyst team does what they do as well. So thank you for that explanation.
Yep. Hey, for those of you out there, I hope this wasn't your pain, but if it is, smile and laugh and then go show it to your counterparts and go, this is us. Have some fun with it as well, but also use it as a learning curve. I'm Gary Spakes from Ridge Trail Ventures.
And I'm Brian Amron with Value Driven Analytics. If you'd like to see more videos like this, maybe our Analytics Lifecycle series, please subscribe to the channel for future videos. It's been a lot of fun. We hope to see you in the next video.